We've got some big news. After 4 months living with Kathryn's parents in Austin, we have officially left the state of Texas and we are back on the road.
We went back and forth for months about when we should hit the road again, and while we had a great time in Texas, we really missed living in our own home, which is this van. So we've decided to move to southern Utah for 2 months. Our goal when hitting the road again was to find a general area to live in our van and just do local adventures around that area. That way we have limited interactions and we're moving a lot slower than before. And you may be wondering, why southern Utah? And there are a handful of reasons. And one big one is that there's tons of free places to camp at night. And a lot of them have cell phone service. So what that means is we can be out in nature. We're not going into towns nearly as much. And when we were out east and like in the Midwest, I guess last year, we basically sleep in Walmarts and Cracker Barrels every single night, which means we're hopping from parking lot to parking lot to parking lot, from town to town every single day. So now we can kind of just stay put in one spot and be really isolated.
There's also tons of outdoor adventures we can go on where we can be socially distant from people. The weather this time of year in southern Utah is incredible, which is very important when you live in a van and you have a special dog friend with you. And there's 5 national parks. We've been to 2. We want to visit the other 3 and go back to the other 2.
So we've already been driving for about 11 hours. We left Austin yesterday and we're currently just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, camping at a pretty sick free camp spot for the night. So we're just gonna relax for the rest of the night, and then tomorrow we are gonna finish the final 5-ish, 6-ish hours to Utah. Wait, was that real?
No, but I did actually spill it.
Oh no.
We made it to Utah, finally!
And our first stop is Monument Valley, which is probably one of the most iconic places in the United States and somewhere we have always wanted to visit.
Monument Valley is an almost 92,000 acre valley located on the border of Arizona and Utah on the Navajo Nation Reservation. This area is made up of sandstone buttes, mesas, and rock formations which formed over millions of years as wind and water eroded the plateau. Some of the most iconic features are the Mitten Buttes and the Totem Pole, which is a tall, slender tower.
Due to COVID, Navajo Nation parks are currently closed, so the actual Monument Valley Tribal Park is not accessible, but we're going to see as much as we can from the road. One of the most popular things to do in Monument Valley is come to a spot called Forrest Gump Hill, which if you've seen the movie Forrest Gump, this is the spot where he ends his cross-country run.
I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
So the thing to do here at this spot is to recreate the scene from the movie, stand out in the middle of the road. You can stand there, take a picture, you can run, do something crazy. We saw a guy skateboarding here, but sounds kind of sketchy. It's 65-mile-an-hour road. Thankfully, in this stretch here, immediate stretch, they lower it to 35. That guy's not going 35 if you just saw that. But thankfully, you can see very far on either side, so you just watch out for yourself.
We're kind of nervous, but we came all the way here,
yeah.
So we're going to give it a shot. We did it! Woo! We did it! We ran in the footsteps of Forrest Gump. Well, Adam did. I just took the photos, but it actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. There's traffic on the road, but they come in groups. So once a group passes, it tends to clear up, and it was not busy here at all. We saw maybe like 3 groups total trying to get photos, so you didn't have to like fight for the road.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. If you punch in Forrest Gump Hill in Google Maps, it can kind of lead you astray. It'll take you to the top of the hill where There is a sign that says Forrest Gump
Yeah.
Hill, but the place to get the shot is a little bit down the hill back towards Monument Valley. And there's a concrete scenic pull-off where you can pull off, and that's where you'll probably see most people, and it's where the speed is reduced. So yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It was fun.
It was fun.
But we're gonna keep heading, I guess, this way, which y'all don't know which way
Probably
that
north.
is. We're gonna keep going north because we have a pretty awesome free camp spot for the night.
We're camping tonight at Valley of the Gods, which is a gorgeous area. It's about a quarter of the size of Monument Valley, but it has a lot of the same features. All these columns and mesas and buttes. It's just awesome out here.
And unlike Monument Valley, this is BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management land, which is public land, whereas Monument Valley is Navajo Nation land. So this area is totally free to access. There's a 17-mile road that runs through the valley, and you can just camp all around the area off the side of the road for free.
It is absolutely gorgeous out here. Our spot is perched up on a little hill, so we have 360 views. It is perfect.
And we're kind of tucked away where we can be totally by ourselves, remote, and just enjoy this without having like tons of neighbors close by. We are just so pumped to be back on the road and be back out west, which is, the West has our heart. So
For
we're
sure.
just so happy.
For dinner tonight, we are making one of our new van favorites, Vietnamese pho, but we kind of cheated a little bit and bought the broth pre-made already because simplicity is key in the van. First step, you need some rice noodles. Second step, you add some beef. This is raw, as you notice, but the key, what you do is you have your broth boiling hot, and you're gonna dump some in here, and that's gonna cook your beef. Traditionally, when we've had it in a restaurant, you can add, for your toppings, you can add lime, cilantro, a chili oil, jalapeno, bean sprouts, there's all kinds of stuff. We have lime, cilantro, and green dragon sauce from Trader Joe's that we're gonna add in there.
That is freaking good. We were so tired last night, we went to bed at 7:45 p.m. To be fair, that's 7:45 p.m. Mountain Time, so maybe in our Texas brains that's 8:45 p.m. But it still was early, but we're up bright and early because we're gonna go check out sunrise at a spot called Goosenecks State Park. Oh wow.
Whoa.
Oh cool.
That's huge.
Crazy.
The Goosenecks is one of the world's best examples of an entrenched river meander. That's a mouthful. But the San Juan River flows through here for 6 miles. There's 6 miles of river, but only advances 1.5 miles on its way towards Lake Powell.
You may remember about 2 years ago, we went to Page, Arizona. We went to a very popular spot called Horseshoe Bend, which has a very similar look to Goosenecks State Park. But the biggest differences between Goosenecks and Horseshoe Bend is that Goosenecks has multiple bends. Horseshoe Bend kind of just looks like this view right here. But here, the river just cuts through the rock multiple times, and there's multiple bends to look at. It's also cheaper to come here. It's $5 per car for the day, don't remember how much Horseshoe Bend was. I want to say it was at least $10 a car or a person. You can also camp here on the rim for $10 a night, which is a steal. And it's so empty here. There are people camping, but no one's actually out here looking at this right now. So we have it all to ourselves, which is very rare at Horseshoe Bend.
Next up, we're headed to the Moki Dugway, which is a road that was constructed in 1958 by a mining company, and it was used to transport uranium ore from the Happy Jack mine in Fry Canyon to a processing plant in Mexican Hat.
And the reason that the Moki Dugway is a popular thing to do while in the area is because it's a crazy steep road with some of the most wild looking switchbacks we've ever seen. This is what it looks like on Google Maps.
I'm pretty nervous to drive it.
It looks absolutely wild. They say don't go if you have an RV, but we're a van. We're not really an RV.
Or
we're
pulling something.
Yeah,
too.
If you're pulling something or if you're over a certain weight. We've read that people in sprinters can do it.
Yep.
We'll just take it slow, go in low gear on the way down,
Yeah.
and we should be good.
Got a nice little surprise there with some little baby cows. Super cute. It looks like we're just driving into the canyon walls. Apparently there's a road that takes you to the top of it, but
It doesn't look like it.
it doesn't look like you can barely see the bottom of it, but you can't tell where it goes.
Oh, and we forgot to mention, it's a completely unpaved road to the top.
Hairpin turn number 1. Ooh, wow, look at that view. Cool. Pretty crazy. Very steep.
Those little mounds of dirt are the guardrails.
Yeah.
We made it! Good job. Once you get to the top of the Moki Dugway, there's this road off to the left pretty much immediately. It's a dirt road that takes you to a spot called Mully Point, which is supposed to have some really nice views of the surrounding area. To kind of put things into perspective of where we've been this weekend, right out there you can see Monument Valley, which is where we started our Utah adventure, and then just right behind me you can see all of the goosenecks from Goosenecks State Park. Now we're here at Muley. I said it wrong earlier. I think it's Muley Point, which I thought would be more of like a touristy spot, but there's no signage telling you where you are. You just go on a dirt road and there's like this big open area. You can camp out here, and it's just so cool to see everywhere we've been all at once. And then all the way out there you can see a mountain with snow on top of it, which I just think is so cool to see out in the desert.
What an amazing start we've had to our time here in Utah. We are so pumped and so happy to be out here. I think we have about 15 more videos that we're planning on filming here in Utah, so get ready for lots of that coming your way.
But for now, we are gonna head west to the area that we're gonna be basing ourselves in for a while, so we will see you guys there.
First step though, we've got to go back down the Moki Dugway. Made it off the dusty, windy part. We made it out alive.
Back on solid road.
Back on solid road. We made it to Utah. The Goosenecks is one of the world's best examples of a meandering river, entrenched river meander. Okay.
Hey guys, how are you?
Similar features like view. It's got wind too.